So the Hazlitt Coalition is a group of now 300 legislators from across the country who believe in liberty. They're coming together to meet, to coordinate efforts, to share ideas, to network, so that they can make liberty win in state capitals across the country.
The Hazlitt Coalition is important. It's essential for a legislative body because it brings about camaraderie. It brings about pro-liberty minded folks who are going to bring about excellent legislation that's going to free people.
Over the years, YAL has focused on a range of issues, from free speech to self-defense and gun rights. And today we're talking about those issues, but also economic freedom. We're talking about ways to improve the system of healthcare in our country. We're finding ways to reform our criminal justice system, which is in desperate need of that reform. And thankfully, these folks are eager to work with their colleagues who are doing just that across the country. They're learning tips and tricks, tactics that are going to help them get these meaningful pieces of legislation across the finish line in 2023.
At Hazlitt's, where I learned about Defend the Guard. I think it is a great bill. I think it's a great piece of legislation. And in fact, the guy in Texas who carried the Texit bill came up to me at the end of session. He goes, "Your bill's more important than mine."
So the real value of Hazlitt is to take that institutional knowledge about how things really work. You know, we start every training with the real nature of politics. And for me, you know, it was like 10 or 15 years ago, I sat in a room just like this in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, and I had the same exact training. It was the real nature of politics. And it opens your mind to, yeah, that's exactly right. They're telling me these things, and this is why they're doing that, and this is how I have to respond to that.
You need to soak up all the information you can from these Hazlitt Coalition meetings. You need to work with your other legislators. If y'all work as a team, you can move mountains. Look what I was able to do in Alabama, largely by myself as a legislator, on the issues of constitutional carry and civil asset forfeiture.
I ended up on the education committee, and we actually were getting through school choice, getting education savings accounts approved.
We will have constitutional carry. We will pass school choice. We will repeal the certificate of need. The list goes on.
You know, 95% of mailers probably go in the trash, but nobody ignores a knock on their door. If you get to have a conversation with a real person and explain to them that their legislator said they were for the Second Amendment when they were campaigning, but now they're not co-sponsoring constitutional carry in the legislature, that angers people. That's what moves the issue forward in the State House.
Talking to the voters, going out and telling them my story, telling them how I can help their life. Ultimately, that's what people care about. They say, how can you running for office and being the voice in the legislature change my life at home? And so that's what I went to them and said, here's what I will fight for. I will fight for your conservative values. I will fight for the unborn. I'll fight to lower taxes. And ultimately, I had the honor of going into the legislature and doing just that.
Well, one of the reasons I enjoy keep coming back is not only the friends and making new ones, it's the fact that it's an environment where I have a better idea of where people are headed and what they're after.
I learned that there's other people across the country that are doing the things that I was trying to do. I thought I was alone. I thought I was the only one in Indiana who was just putting it all on the line for liberty. And then I discovered there are legislators all across the country that were already doing that. Not only that, Young Americans for Liberty laid out the plan for 250 liberty legislators by 2022. Now that was exciting. And here we are in 2022, and there's over 300 members of Hazlitt. It is glorious, it is fun.
I think all of the support that I had through the grassroots efforts, through YAL, through all of that, had a huge impact on my success.
Young Americans for Liberty is the bulldog of the liberty movement. Everybody knows we do it best.
They're helping support legislators like me that are championing the principles of freedom and liberty in states like Alabama. They're helping build our coalition. They're helping educate us on policy. And they're impacting 90 million Americans and making 90 million more Americans more free. And I don't know of any other organization in America that is doing what we're doing and doing it on the level that we're doing it with the effectiveness that Young Americans for Liberty is having.
These pro-liberty legislators work hard in their own state capitals to fight for liberty every day. They came together at the Hazlitt Summit in Florida this year to band together, to network, to share ideas and best practices so that we can all make liberty win in 2023 and beyond.